Julian!
Hello there, Jacko here, and today, well, we are gonna make multiple Fakemon. So the main theme is gonna be Convergent and Divergent evolution. Basically, we are making a regional variant and a Convergent Pokemon. In case of Pokemon, basically it's a Pokemon in a different environment. Sandshrew, who is normally found during the sand deserts, completely different from Sandshrew that are found in the icy areas, and that kind of makes it more unique. So far, they started from Generation 7 and it's keeping up with the recent generation being Generation 9. We did touch on this idea before with the regional variants of Ekans and its evolution, but this time we are touching out on a different Pokemon, being Torkoal, a tortoise that's normally found in lava areas or hot caves or whatever. And basically, we are putting it in a swamp. So why specifically swamp and not anywhere else? First of all, it's a tortoise, and tortoises and turtles are basically the same thing. Only difference is turtles can go in the water, while tortoises cannot. And why specifically a swamp? Well, to keep Torkoal's main thing being producing steam, I put it where it will produce swamp gas, which is also sort of known as methane. Methane is colorless and it's really flammable. So that's gonna be the main focus of this new regional variant of Torkoal, which also is a lot more smaller than usual. For this Torkoal design, I just used the original model, just made it more smooth, I guess, and because I don't know how to draw really methane, instead of just making it be basically nothing with some outer lines, I just made a green color, which isn't really accurate and probably could mean a different chemical, but I don't know really what to do in this situation. And also, this variant of Torkoal is a lot more smaller than the original, and yeah, enjoy. It is normally found in swampy areas, and unlike its Hoenn cousin, they are smaller and eat swamp plants as a fuel, and with that they generate methane. I think I did a solid job here. I am unlike regular Torkoal, who produces also steam from its nose in the official art. I just made it so it will produce methane from its back shell. But do you know what I was going to add? A new evolution to it. Yep, let's start. For its evolution, I just exaggerated the proportions somehow and added a tree, because if it's a grass type turtle, it will have a whole tree on its back, which will produce more methane, and that's it. In short, the main thing here is that it is a fire and grass type, which will be, honestly, I think this is gonna be better than what we got in Generation 9 with Capsaicin, and then, well, what was the other evolution's name? I don't know. It was kind of disappointment, honestly. Now that we've finished with regional variants, let's talk more about convergent evolution. Basically, it's completely different species that gain the same elements that fill the same niche in nature. Main example of this are sharks with fins and dolphins with fins, both being a completely different species, dolphins being mammals and sharks being, well, fish. And in Pokemon, it's completely different. Basically, it's kind of like a regional variant, but more on the opposite side. It's not cool. It's placing an aquatic animal on land or land animal in water. The main examples we currently have are not really too much to go off of. We have a Diglett with Vugtrio, and Tentacool with Toadscruel, and recently in DLC with, what was the name? Poltergeist and Sinistcha. And let's go over the elements. So let's start by talking about Vugtrio line and Dugtrio line. Basically, there's two main differences. It's the color and one attribute that gets completely changed. In this case, it's, well, the longest length of Vugtrio compared to Dugtrio, and in color, obviously. So basically, there's also another attribute that gets changed when it evolves. With Viglet going to Vugtrio, they gain a stone, which, Vugtrio come out with. But with Diglett and Dugtrio, they go on the ground. They replace the dirt around the ground with a stone. And now let's talk about Toadscruel and Tentacool. Basically, it's the color, and that the things like those bulbs on Tentacool are just patterns on Toadscruel. Like, they're just two, not even bumps, they're just like a painted on there. Unlike in Tentacool, they're just like red bumps. But when it evolves in Toadscruel, instead of that weird spike that Tentacruel has, it becomes a tube that spreads spores. So that's kind of an indicator what an convergent form should be. Different color has one attribute that does kind of help it, and when it evolves, it changes one attribute completely. But this is also unsure because, well, comparing it to Sinistcha and Poltergeist, they can also have a name change. Like, Sinistcha is actually a convergent form of Poltergeist, but it has Sinisty's name. So you can also switch the names, but I don't think I'm gonna go with all of these ideas right away. So I'm gonna play around with the idea, which I will make it, but which Pokemon am I going to choose? Well, I chose the Litwick line, and I'm gonna put them in the water and turn them into cephalopods. So let's begin. For this Litwick convergent Pokemon, I did kinda change like drips. Drips on the bottom, I turned them into tentacles, and drips that covers one Litwick's eye, I just turned it into a pattern, which basically canonically makes this convergent form only have one eye. And that's it. Larva. It freely travels in the ocean searching for food. Its real mouth is located in the bottom middle part of the body. So this is basically Litwick's convergent form, and because they're normally stronger than the original, I gave this one water and dark type. Let's move to the evolution now. For the evolution that is convergent form of Lampit, I really just like just went with it. It has a random third eye which has no meaning whatsoever, but it looks cool. Maybe it is the only part that glows, or maybe it is actually its eye or something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you can help with that. Squident. It uses two tentacles at the bottom of its body to lure prey. When the prey is closer, it will grab it, and with its tentacles, it will suffocate it. There's nothing already that I said about this, just, yeah, it has a third eye and it's neat. Let's move to the final evolution, shall we? So far, what we discussed is that the final evolution gets something new, and instead of a chandelier's basic, like, flame stuff that it normally has, I gave it these, like, ink guns. It fires ink from these. Multiple inks, and maybe a new signature move that it will have, like, just fires it multiple times. But all those, like, chains, I guess, metal parts of a lamp, I added, like, just a regular pattern for it. And yeah, there's nothing else to say. Cephalair. It has inkjets that it uses to fire at flying prey, and when the prey crashes to the water, it will grab it and drag it to the deepest parts of the ocean. Honestly, I am a lot more proud of this just because I like what I did with the tentacles of fire ink. That's my favorite part of this whole design. And I mimicked the flame on the head, like just with a gill that normal squids have. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy, and it was a pain to edit this whole thing. And honestly, I am sorry for not uploading for a whole more than a month. But I had too much work, personal stuff and all that, and I cannot promise that I will be better in the future. But what I will say, I will try to make more videos, more not just focus on Fakeman, just regular, just to keep it up. And also, at the end, Happy New Year to you all, and see you next time. Enjoy, and goodbye.